What's up, guys? So it's Tuesday night. We're gonna do a cam removal from the stock head on my Klx110. We're gonna remove the stock cam, and then I have a cam that was in my brother's. I'm pretty sure it's similar to a YX head, so I'm gonna throw that cam inside the stalker. It's supposed to open it up a little bit, so let's get straight to it. All right, so we're gonna get started by removing both tappet covers. Those are going to be two 8mm bolts on each. So we'll take those off real quick. Alright, so got this cover off. Alright, so we got the intake tappet cover off, the exhaust tappet cover off. Now we're going to get started on the cam cover. 8mm bolts. But I have 3, and then I have an Allen head up here. So I'm going to take that off. Those 4 bolts, and this should come straight off. Alright, so we got that cover off. It's right here. 4 bolts, and that should come straight off. Like with the tap covers, make sure that the O-ring gasket comes with it. Next, I'm going to take off the cam chain tensioner, which is down there. It's 2 8mm bolts. Okay, so I got the 2 8mm bolts out. Now your cam chain tensioner is loose. You don't necessarily have to take those 2 bolts off if you don't want to. You can put a flathead screwdriver through the top of this, turn it clockwise, and it'll take off the tension. Next, what I can do is I'm going to take off these 2 Allen bolts. Okay, so I got the cam gear off. Like I said, you take off the 2 Allen bolts. Pull the gear itself off of the cam, take off the chain, and this is how I got here. You take those 2 Phillips off. We'll take this little plate off here. Pops out just like that, straightforward. So next we're going to take out these little pins right here that hold in the rocker guides, and then we'll be able to go from there. Alright, so what you want to do, it's kind of hard process to videotape, so what you want to do is you want to grab a set of needle nose pliers. There's 2 pins, one here and one here. So what you want to do is you want to hold this rocker as you pull out the pin from here. The pin will come straight out, and then you'll pull the rocker out just like this. So I'm going to do the bottom one next. Alright, so like I was saying, you want to hold the rocker at the bottom and pull the pin out. Then you should be able to get your rocker and your pin, and the cam should slide right out. Alright, so we should be able to pull this almost straight out. You might have to feel for it because the cam lobe has to be facing down. So after trying to get that other cam in for 20 minutes, for some reason I can't get it in, so putting the stock cam back in, I put the assembly lube on this cam. So let's get this one put in. Right. Alright, so now we're going to put in the first rocker and pin. So what you want to do is slide the rocker back through the top. Alright, so got that in. And for those of you that are wondering about the red assembly lube, it is safe, so don't. I should be checking the valve clearance, but since they were good already before I took the rockers off. They should be the same because I didn't adjust the valves at all when I took those off. So I'm gonna put these on. Got both valve covers on. Next I'm gonna take off the flywheel cover so that way we can reset the timing on the flywheel and set the cam gear timing mark as well. So I got the flywheel cover off. What you want to do, I forgot to say before, is make sure you remove the spark plug so that way you can rotate this easier. But what you want to do is there's a T mark on the flywheel. Right here, you'll see there's a mark that should have a T on it, and that's going to line up. Where's it at? This mark here is going to line up with this V marker right there. Alright, so once you get this mark lined up, you're going to grab your cam gear and alright, so like I was saying, there's a mark on the flywheel. You want to mark the T mark with the engine case here. Once that is aligned, you're going to go and you're going to grab your cam gear, and you want the T mark on this lined up with the mark in here. But one thing to take into consideration is once you put on your cam chain tensioner, you're gonna want to recheck your timing on the flywheel and your timing on the cam chain, because it could potentially shift it back or forward. So once you get those aligned, just double check. Once you get the cam chain tensioner on, then you can put the 2 bolts in, and then you should be able to get back to reassembly. Alright, so like I was saying about the cam chain tensioner, you need a flat head. It's kind of a hard angle to get a good camera angle, but see, I have a flat head in here. What you do is you want to turn it clockwise, and you guys probably can't see, but it's letting that cam chain tensioner go further down. So what I'm doing now is I have this flat head turned clockwise, and I'm tightening the 8mm. Now I'm going to double check the timing. So you can see my timing mark right here. T mark lines up with that one, and my T mark here lines up with this one here. So that should be good. Alright, so we got the timing set up between the cam gear and the flywheel. Next I'm going to put back the flywheel cover back on. I'm going to put the spark plug back in. I'm going to check the torque specs on these, get those torqued down, put the cam cover back on, and we should be able to fire it up. So let's get that all put together, and we'll test fire it.
I want to take this off. I want to take this off.
Well, we got the KLX running again, so sounds good. Basically, this whole cam removal was pointless, but at least hopefully it can help those of you who have never done a cam before. Hopefully it'll give you some guidance on how to do your own. This was my first cam removal and install, so it's pretty easy. Just take your time and and you should be able to get it done yourself. So hopefully you guys like this video, and stay tuned for the next one.